So what I want us to do is to start becoming more conscious, start choosing things in a better way for ourselves, and start creating a life that's going to gear us to really take advantage of the opportunities that are going to show up for us in the years to come.
This podcast is brought to you by The Integrated Human. We work up, down, inside out to plug yourself into your potential. If you want to see what we are up to and what's next, sign up to our newsletter or follow us on social media. If you like what we are doing, we really appreciate it if you can like our post on social media and YouTube and help us grow.
All right. Welcome to the Big and Small Podcast. I'm Jason Shields, and I'm big.
And I'm Marit Gabrielsen, and I'm the tiny one.
Back in the hot seats, ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yep. Now, we have a very interesting question today.
Huge question today.
Yeah, it's a huge question. And when I talk to my wife, sometimes she says, Jason, you don't have to be so thorough with the explanation. And I said, yeah, but, I'm like building the shoe from the bottom up, get the sole and and all that, just all the way up to the laces. There's going to be a little bit of that today, and I expect you're going to enjoy. It's going to be
I enjoyed this question.
Yeah, very good.
I really like when you guys send us emails and ask us questions, big or small question.
Yes.
Pun not intended. But it's really nice because it gets the only problem is that me and Jason start talking about the question before the podcast, and then we go, no, can't say, don't start, because we kind of have half the podcast somewhere else, and it's kind of about being in the flow in the question.
That's
and
it.
to reproduce that, it's not as good, because then you kind of think then you already had the conversation.
Yeah.
So you don't get the honest answer. So we have been on the fence with this one for a week now, because Jason has been doing art stuff.
Yeah, I have not been here.
You've not been here.
Yeah.
So Jason is continue his not book tour yet.
Yeah.
But he is continue developing a kid's book.
Yes. And an adult book.
And an adult book. Can we say it? Is it allowed to say?
It's allowed to say
it. Say we have now a contract with an editor.
Yes.
So the book is happening, people.
Boom shakalaka.
This is huge.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
My hands are full, so I'm not really showing how huge
it
is. But it is. It is. It's actually quite huge.
It's not this. It's like
it's enormous.
Like, exactly.
We've had meetings.
Yes.
And the editing process starts actually on Tuesday.
Yes.
So it's not an idea anymore. It's been many words written.
Yes.
But now we're getting to the stage with editor, and it's huge, people. So that's why we've been a little bit off tune in the podcast. We're sorry about that. Now we're back, and we're back with a big bang. So I need some drink before this. It's quite a long question, so
yeah, well phrased,
thorough, which we like.
Yeah.
Okay. Need to have my paper here. Hey, beautiful people. This is a big question. On the Modern Wisdom podcast, I have often heard talk about the concept of monk mode. If you are not familiar with the term, it is self-explanatory in some sense, meaning you live more or less like a monk. A bit exaggerated, but basically that. For an extended period of time in order to elevate or cultivate certain aspects of life. For instance, you go long stretches of time without alcohol, meditate hours each day, being in solitude, and so on. This is something that the host has done with great success. But what I want to talk about is the potential dangers of sorry, I lost my track. This is I want to talk about the potential danger of way of life in regards to re-entering in society. The host has talked about the fact that for some people, guys in particular, it is perhaps so rewarding being in monk mode that they just stay forever in that mode. He argues that the reason for engaging in such activities is precisely because you would like to be a better contributor and participants in society. But we can be caught up in living like this and just never start enjoying life deeply. For me personally, I feel some sense of productivity debt, meaning that I have to do certain amount of personal development before I can relax. This is a potential downfall for us in the personal development sphere. Question mark. I really ever read or look at fiction anymore. I almost completely quit alcohol, and although I consider myself very happy and lucky, I'm starting to fear that delayed gratification is in the extreme leads to no gratification. I would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Go. All right. So let me talk to you about my homie Aristotle.
We are really starting from the shoe.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the bottom.
We're not even starting with the shoe, starting with the rubber inside the shoe.
Exactly.
Yeah, Aristotle, your homie. Yeah.
My homie.
What about him?
He talked about, now understand who this guy is. Like, you
He's
meet
dead.
this guy at a party. Yeah, he's dead.
He got killed.
Yeah. Well, that was Socrates.
That was Socrates. Okay.
Yeah, but
they're not my homies.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, my homie got killed. Thought he died of being an old man.
And that was an old man.
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly. No, but you're at a party and Aristotle, he's there and you're wandering around and you're like, yeah, he asks you, so what do you do? Oh, I like to look at the stars. Oh, I wrote a book about that. And the next person says, yeah, I like to garden. Yeah, I wrote about a book about that too. Yeah, I'm a mathematician. Yeah, I wrote a book about that. Like, Aristotle was like one of the most knowledgeable guys. He was one of the
really
first.
Party killer, though.
He is a party killer because he wrote the book on parties.
Did you know? Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I not only did it, he like wrote the book, So he was a little irritating in that way, but that gave him kind of the overview of human activities and what gave pleasure, what gave true happiness. And he talked about a state of eudaimonia. Now, he defined 4 different levels of happiness. I'll talk about eudaimonia right now. Eudaimonia is the highest level of happiness a human can have. And that is, according to Aristotle and many others, when you have found your purpose and are excellent at it. And that also fits the needs of the society around you.
Important last piece there.
Yes, exactly. Then you are in a full circle of joy and happiness because you are fulfilling yourself as you fulfill the people around you, as you are needed and as you are important. So you basically have everything from the small you getting recognition and being important to the larger you contributing to something greater. So that's eudaimonia. What you didn't hear in that definition was drinking on the weekends with your buddies, right?
No?
Because Aristotle wrote the book on that too, right? So
it's called vacation in Norway.
It's called vacation, exactly. There is an important phase in a man's life because our brains are not as connected as a woman's brain. Women, if you ask a woman who's had kids when she's old, if she's done something worthy in this life, she will always say yes, she's been valuable. But a man, strangely enough, will always think about what they have achieved. And though, of course, they love their kids and all that, they're made to be useful and in function for society. That is their
role,
their whole role. Testosterone literally makes you think you can beat up a lion so that when a lion attacks your kids and your wife, you jump in front thinking you're going to push the beast mode button when you're actually just going to be a snack, right? But there's this glory that a man can get through discipline. Okay, there's a self-knowledge, a self-confidence, a sense of worthiness that comes when you know that you can discipline your needy self. So a man that's afraid of hunger can't be trusted when he's hungry. A man that is overruled by the lust he has. You know that he can't be trusted when there's a beautiful woman present.
We would never ask him to protect your girlfriend or wife.
And that's what I'm talking about, right? You know, so this whole idea of this epic soldier figure, like an Achilles or whatever, the Spartans used to send their kids when they were like 7 or 8 to these basically warrior boot camps where they lived just among men, and they were just put under the most grueling circumstances possible, because when they came back, they had been transformed into a person who wasn't afraid of hot or cold, wasn't afraid of hunger, wasn't afraid of poverty, wasn't afraid of being thirsty or fighting, wasn't afraid of having to do what they need to do, and also could hold themselves, because they knew the consequences of not holding themselves, because they then got beat up, smashed, punished, whatever. And then at the end,
kicked into a hole.
Yeah,
If you watched the movie, at least.
Yeah.
Well, they did.
This is Sparta.
Huzzah!
Yeah, exactly.
It did not say huzzah.
No, he should have though.
You should have.
Yeah,
Well, you just killed the whole movie.
Exactly.
Then you know it's a Tarantino movie.
Right, exactly.
Everything's correct, and then he kicks him and just go huzzah,
Huzzah! So, there is a sense of quote unquote monk mode, because warrior mode and monk mode seems to be very much the same. It's a state of inner silence. It's a state of total discipline. It's a state of monitoring, and in real monk mode is releasing attachments. Now, this is the thing.
This is kind of I would say this is the essence of what monk mode is.
Yeah.
And this part, I think, is really valuable for men. I've seen that in our peer group.
Yes.
The men that I'm surrounded with, Jason done it for many years, and in different phases. And the other guys, which are young men, have done this in different phases over the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And the result they get from it is insane.
Yes.
But also speaking from the ladies' perspective, the detachment part,
yes,
I think it's super important for us as well.
Yes, it is,
because it frees you up. When we started working, my end goal with my self-development thingy is freedom.
Yes.
And freedom doesn't mean running naked in the forest. It means that I can choose something different.
Yeah, that's it.
There's no attachment to any decisions that's made. And that is what monk mode also is about, that you free yourself up from have-tos, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And this is the differentiation between the real thing and the popularized thing. Okay.
One is in not minister. That's what it's called. No, like a kloster.
Yeah, a monastery.
Monastery.
Yeah. So when you truly have a deep spiritual practice, and you're doing this self-exploration that the practice gives you, that is the happiness and joy. What gives you, now this is going to be very hard for many people to hear, but what gives you happiness is somewhere a decision from you.
No.
There's a strategy that you have for happiness. There's a strategy you have for anger. There's a strategy you have for sadness and depression and paranoia and rage. Well, he triggered me. Well, what's your trigger, bro? If you don't like your trigger, get rid of it. And that's real freedom. Real freedom is not having to have a beer to be happy. The question is it right to have the beer in the situation?
Because you have to adapt to the society you're in.
Exactly. And it has nothing to do with the beer. You don't need the beer to be happy. And relaxing and having a party is not the same as being happy.
I think this is kind of the essence, for me at least, when you talk about monk mode. Yeah. The people I've been, and it's the modern type of monk mode, kind of, but they've been kind of focusing on sleep and eating and training and work.
Yeah.
Social life, not. And for instance, me and Eirik, if you go back to some podcast, we had a period, 2-year period now, where we worked from 6:30 to 9:30.
Yeah.
You have to go monk mode.
Yeah.
because
there's no room
because
for
there is no room, and if we make room for the other stuff, the important stuff in our life would suffer,
exactly.
which was our patients, our clinic, building our dream life, and keeping we had like a focus goal for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
If we took time for the other stuff, what our goal was would suffer.
Yes.
And it was quite interesting because that did require a lot of detachments from my husband's part, because he had a lot of attachments to what a good family man was,
Mhm.
showing up. But you had a big conversation with him about it, that yeah, but is showing up in this case, does it mean being physically there, or is it to actually provide the economy for what you want in the future?
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
And you had to do that. But I think it's very interesting because there's what I've seen also for some people that kind of go monk mode is that they cut so much that instead of it becoming a self realization process, a self exploration process, it turns into judgment.
Mm.
So you try to see that you can live without sodas.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, but then you become judgmental about people that drink sodas.
Yeah.
You cut alcohol because see if you can, but then you become judgmental in parties and say that they're less humans because they drink alcohol.
They're dumb.
They're dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Because you become very judgy.
You become very judgy.
Yeah.
And then you're not free anymore, are you?
Exactly. And that's
then
very
you're
much...
just in just as much of a cage.
Yes.
And that's the trap I think he's referring to, that I see also, is that it goes from this really nice mission and purpose and wanting to free oneself up and see what's one capable of, to that become just as much of a cage as the one you had with the attachments.
Exactly.
Because you get so attached to not being attached that to have an Aperol spritz becomes an ego death.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Very good. And that's really the case, because you think thing bad, and then you start to create a polarization emotionally around it, and get all the reasons why it's bad and why you shouldn't do it and nobody should do it and how it's awful. And then you take the next step, and then you suddenly, everywhere you go, you're resisting that thing. But it's then actually just as much in your life as it was when you were doing it. So, for example, veganism. People who are vegan talk about being vegan all the time. Every conversation you have with a vegan is the fact that they're a vegan and you should be a vegan. And it's like, and what do they have in their head? Mistreatment of animals and how eating meat is bad. So who actually has that process on their mind all the time? A person who had a steak, or the vegan?
Vegan.
The vegan. And that's the point. It's like dry alcoholics think about alcohol all the time, right? Or you could just not drink. And if somebody else takes a drink, it has nothing to do with you. It's easy. It's like I choose not to because it's not appropriate for where I am right now. Or today it's appropriate for me because we're in a party and everybody's having one and I can have one. It doesn't matter. My body's okay with that. I'm healthy.
Kind of the thing, you can and you can't. You can and you can't. And then you go into the society and social framework.
Yeah.
Like we had a barbecue yesterday.
Yeah.
And we asked the question, should we have a glass of wine? And I looked at the watch and I said, no, it's 8:00. Yeah. Then it's too late because then it's going to affect my sleep and we're going to wake up at 6 tomorrow. Yeah. But then it's not a problem.
Oh,
but I said, if it was 6:00.
Yeah, maybe a glass of wine would be fine.
It would be fine because it has to do with the social. So, yeah, like you said about, I can't rephrase it.
Yeah, social context.
Social context.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fine to walk away and go, okay, that's fine. And there was no suffering when it was a yes, and there was no suffering when it was a no. And that's freedom. It's non-attachment. And that's really where we're getting back to. The monk mode where you're just, you're meditating and you're exercising and you're eating clean and you're staying away from all these things. You're staying away. It's basically like taking a laxative. You take something so that you clear your intestines. It feels freaking great. But you can't take laxative all the time. At some point, you should get to the point where it's just not interesting for you to eat all that junk food, so you have to clean yourself out.
Well, exactly. And I think a little bit that's what he's experiencing,
Yeah.
because that was what I experienced when
Yeah.
I was going through
Mhm.
a process of really, because when I started the self-exploration work, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, I was like hooked up like a salmon in a
Yeah.
like there was hooks everywhere.
Yeah.
And you go through a process of really cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting.
Yeah.
And you at one point kind of lose a little bit, you lose yourself a bit in
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because you've been cutting so much, and then you kind of don't know what's what anymore.
Yeah. If pink donuts no longer give you happiness,
They do sometimes.
and it would have been, but it's so good because if I'm sad, I need to be happy, so I eat a pink donut.
Oh, yeah,
It's a-
my ritual
Yeah.
was because my husband studied abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday evenings, and I worked the whole week. So Friday evenings was my day.
Yeah.
I went to training. Then I went to Kiwi, which is the local supermarket. I bought frozen pizza,
Yeah.
chips, and some candy,
Yeah.
and some soda.
Yeah.
And I would have that and watch something on TV. And it was peace. It was happiness. It was
Yeah.
complete joy.
Yeah.
Then I started working with myself,
Yeah.
and that disappeared. It was horrific to
Yeah.
lose it. Actually, I had to actually go through a sadness process with it, because I missed the feeling, and that is actually something that doing the self work is in one way taken a little bit away, is that mechanism for a thing disappears.
Yes. But also the dependency on it.
Yes, so but it's like,
But there is a familiarity.
it's like
Yeah.
you when you just want to feel good, I had a mechanism.
Yeah.
And now, like, I do it if I want it,
Yeah.
but not because it gives me something. I just truly
Exactly.
actually want it.
Yeah. It's like, I think I want some chips. Yeah. It's
I
good.
want some
but,
chips today.
But it's not like, okay, God, I haven't had my Friday evening chips and pizza bonanza. Therefore, my life is shit because I'm not happy because I didn't get to reset with my chips and pizza evening.
Or that, now I'm gonna have it, I'm gonna feel so good.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is,
and that's actually, it's like just being it's an addict.
Yeah.
That's an addict. It's literally the addictive
Yes.
behavior. Exactly.
But what it has given on the other side, and he says that he read less fiction and stuff, and for me that happened too.
Yeah.
So, but what I have discovered is that I have been able to rediscover things that really gives me joy.
Yeah. Exactly. And you can reassign your joy to things that are useful for you.
Exactly.
In an authentic way, not
Yeah.
in a, okay, I'm going to decide that eating clean is super happy for me. It's like, yeah, well, maybe it is, but you're not going to reassign your happiness from your, pizza bonanza to something healthy because you should. It's just, it happens naturally. And you're able to choose the things because it builds your eudaimonia.
Mm.
And that's the point. You're building eudaimonia. That Aristotle divine or ultimate happiness, right? So there's an interesting connection there between being truly on a path and doing a cleanse. So I do recommend that people do, for example, vegetarian fasts once in a while, though I'm a meat eater and I think the protein's very important.
You were a vegetarian?
Oh, I was a vegetarian for over 20 years. Yeah. And there's also another, so having this, having some change and variation in your life is very, very healthy. But there's also another thing, and that is that especially men, when I was on my art trip in Copenhagen, I was speaking to a very, very well-functioning young man. He's now studying physics and mathematics in Stockholm. And we were speaking about what it's smart for him to do as a young man. And as a young man, it's very often smart to go through a period where you're just disciplining yourself. You become as tight as you possibly can.
use, you know,
And the challenge is to loosen up that tightness after.
but that's the point. Then you
Yes.
get the other side of it, because then you're able to both be tight when you need to and be relaxed and easy when you need to.
And I think that's kind of what we're missing in today.
Exactly.
This when we try to discipline ourselves, is that it becomes just a narrow, very narrow life, and then like what it says, you kind of postpone gratification becomes no gratification.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to ask yourself, what would give you gratification? And that's the question, the actual question, what would give you gratification? Because so many people are running away from pain and running towards pleasure. Oh, I just want to eat, you know, a buffet now, or I just want to drink myself unconscious, or I just want to just blow my mind with some special effects on TV or whatever. And then it's over or not. You can ask yourself, is it truly happiness? Is it? It's not. And as a man, like you know me very well now. So am I touched by people? Am I sensitive to other people?
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty soft.
Jason can be like a kitten, and like
Yeah.
a baby kitten.
Yeah, exactly.
It is softest guy I know.
Yeah, when that's appropriate, right? But also when I have
And
to
you're
be
the
hard.
hardest hammer I know.
Exactly. And also when I've decided not to move, I will not move.
I've said that a couple of times. Said, Jason, you have to. We're gonna do this one thing. You have to want it, because I can't move you.
Yeah, it's
I can't. If you move yourself, it's gonna be easy. But I cannot push you, because it's impossible. You become so focused on a thing that it's impossible to redirect that focus.
Yeah. And that's
until you choose to redirect it
until
yourself.
it's the choice. Exactly. And that's really living that full spectrum, because we're total. And especially as men, we need to have the ability and the flexibility inside ourselves to be completely connected with the universe and completely self-contained. You need to be able to go back and forth between those things.
Is monk mode less established by amongst women because we are connectors more than?
Yeah, I would say that it's a certain type of people who are more interested in monk mode. Women are much more into self-development than men in general, because men's testosterone think that they're the king in the universe, even though they are the tiniest little puppy in the world. They think they're the kings and they can hit the beast mode button and beat the biggest dog ever. Testosterone's a weird thing. Women come into the world having to deal with their bodies that are out of control, society is out of control, getting pregnant and having kids. Women are much more intelligent when it comes to understanding that if they were more able to handle stuff, they're better off. They have less suffering. Their life will be better, and everybody else's, their kids, their husbands will be better. Men actually have to be quite special in order to discover the desire and the motivation to actually improve themselves. Either that, or they have to be put in a situation where it's a do or die situation, which most men today aren't. That's why they sent them to the Spartans to boot camp, basically Spartan boot camp, because it's like, there you have to do or die.
I don't think everybody survived that boot camp.
No, they didn't. They didn't. It was
brutal.
It was very brutal. And unfortunately, those kind of tests of quote unquote manhood, we shouldn't talk about gender and all that, but there's a strength that a protector needs. And the first one is to control themselves, because if the protector's violating you.
Well, if the protector is putting themselves first,
for example,
not protecting.
Exactly. That's
That's the easy way.
Oh, it's scary. I'm running.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Greta, you take this one.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Greta's sitting there with 3 kids and her arms is going,
what?
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, what was it? The quote unquote protector says, you don't have to be faster than the lion, just faster than Greta carrying 3 kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. But that's kind of like what's happening with many men today, is that they just are not able to take that step to actually create that control and that
Well,
that
society
strength inside.
is not making
Oh.
channels for them to actually test themselves.
At
One
all.
of the reasons why I think martial arts is really good for kids,
It's very good.
because you have a lot of emotions, you have a lot of intensity, and you have to keep yourself a bit like correct, because if not, you're going to injure your partner,
Yeah.
and that's a no-go.
Yeah.
You know, in all martial arts,
Exactly.
you respect your partners. I think that you actually learn to hold yourself. So with kids, I think martial arts, no matter what martial arts, will give that to some sense. I, of course, think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the king and queen of all martial arts. But I think all martial arts have that aspects with them.
Absolutely.
And you don't get that in soccer. You don't get that in ball sports the same way.
No.
Because here you have to interact with someone.
Yeah.
And you're physical, trying to hit and kick or submit the other person. So it is kind of personal.
Totally.
In that way.
Totally agree. So these are important aspects of development, especially for men. I think women are put through so much, honestly. There's a reason why men should open the door for women, and it's not because there's a gender disparity that women are not strong enough to open doors. It's about showing the respect for what women go through in their everyday biological life, what they have to deal with in terms of society, the important role, the actual unique role they have of bearing kids and bringing them forth. It's amazing. It's a miracle. Nothing that a man's created has ever been equal to that.
No, and it's good. This is a different conversation, but we've had a couple of times in our peer group, especially. But kind of, and it really bugged me when of getting evidence again that it is correct, that the biological, we are different, and that has its superpowers. And when you really just understand and accept that
and respect
that both ways, I also felt like progress and went much quicker. Because you're not having an inner fight with your friends, in your home turf, in everyday society out here. You're kind of just accepting. You're kind of really owning up to who you are, right?
Yes, exactly. And with who you are, and instead of fighting that or trying to be something different, really owning what your body is and what you need to function and what you can and can't do, and
the qualities you have.
And all the qualities you have, exactly. It's amazing brew.
But I think regarding his question, I think he is really. I do agree with him that if you do self-development, and I think that he is correct in the trap that when you do kind of self-work, it is easy to start judging others that don't.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, then we're hitting an edge here.
Yeah.
Because it's your self-work that you're judging means that you need to look at that.
Exactly.
Because it's not about them.
Yeah, it's not about them at all.
Inner work is about you and your thoughts and your behaviors and your triggers and your limits.
Yeah.
It's all about you and where you have your resistance, your friction.
Yeah.
If you're really into it, look at the friction.
Yeah, look at the friction, exactly. And then also try to figure out what gratification and happiness is for you. And I think that's the most important thing there. And then you can just watch it change over time. You know, I had a friend who just wanted to always go out drinking with me. And every time we would go out, I would have like a glass of wine and this guy would get totally drunk and start a fight. And it's like, I don't want to have to clean up that every single time. I'm constantly just keeping out fights. And every weekend he wanted to go out again so he can have a fight. You know, he never said that, but let's go drinking again. And then it would always turn out the same. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to go drink you. Whoa, are you afraid to drink? And I'm like, well, first of all, I think having a glass of wine is not bad. Secondly, it's not the drinking. It's you trying to start a fight every time we go out. That's an issue. You shouldn't drink. Not because I'm judging you for drinking. I'm judging you for how you're acting when you have been drinking, because it's dangerous for you and everybody around you. And it's no fun for me because I have to constantly handle the situations that you create. Is that fair? Right? So there's this whole social dynamic around, can you hang out with your friends and drink if you want to drink? And can you not drink because you don't want to drink and still hang out with your friends that are drinking?
You know, if both of those things are equal and one time it's perfect for you to do it and one time not, then you know you're free and it doesn't matter anymore. It's kind of like the pink donut thing and the candy and all that. It's like, yeah, you can have one if you want.
No, I have them on Wednesdays. No,
Exactly. You can have one on Wednesday.
but the actual truth is that now I choose.
Yeah, you choose it.
And it's not a pattern like every Friday.
Exactly.
It's more.
Oh, it's Friday. Let's get drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
or eat
how
the
many people have
pizza.
that?
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's more for me. It's kind of really being able to, with the detachment, and really start to choose. And it, in one way, it does detach for you from a lot of things that you did love before, like certain movies or certain other behaviors, like this. I read less fiction because it's just not an interest anymore, because it was just as much an escapism. And I would just want to, yes, there is a sadness, for me at least, it was a sadness about that, but at the same time, it's given room to figure out what can I put there instead. And some of the things has kind of been invited back, and like I still love Lord of the Rings and watch the whole thing, but it doesn't, I do it not to escape into it.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Exactly. You don't use it as an escape or as some addictive pathway to try to get some kind of pleasure in an otherwise miserable life.
Exactly.
Rather have a happy life and then choose the things that you want to do, rather than have an addictive pattern that maybe you had when you were 20 and doesn't fit you now when you're 35 or 40.
So I think if you feel like he does with kind of certain things, that if you miss them, invite them back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Invite your fiction back in.
Yeah.
Fiction is not bad.
No, not at all.
See if it gives you anything. And maybe it will, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And if you're bored, put the book down.
Put the book down.
Yeah. So remember, you matter. Unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light squared, then you're energy. But if you can't be energy, matter.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you felt we added something to your day and hopefully your life. If you want to learn more, subscribe to our newsletter and find us at integrated-human.com. That is integrated-human.com. Integrated Human on YouTube and other social media platforms. Have a great day, and thank you again for listening. Love, light, and upgrade from us at the Integrated Human team.